Hi guys, I'm Parul, the founder and the face of the brand for the Silk Glow.
Hi, I'm Sachin, the co-founder of the Silk Glow, husband to Parul, father to my two kids.
Come on, tell me a bit more about the Silk Glow.
The Silk Glow is an everyday luxury brand made for basically all skin types, all hair types. Thoroughly believe in Ayurvedic natural ingredients because it's created from my own personal hair and skin issues. So this is made for all. It's not just for women, it's for men as well. Obviously, my husband uses the products every day.
Oh, you're glowing, mate. You're glowing. It's all good.
Tell me about it.
Launched in November 2022. It goes back way before then. Going through not knowing what self-care was back in 2016, juggling many hats, being a mum to two small kids, having two loved ones critically ill. Satch was obviously going through a lot with his health. He didn't have the energy. He was very fragile and weak. It was like the 23rd of December 2016 when we rushed him into hospital. I mean, it was a lengthy 7-hour surgery on Christmas Day. But I think from this, the things that I've really learned is whatever life throws at you, something like this, when you least expect it, it's so important to have that strong mindset to push through what's going on and to see that light at the end of the tunnel. You can't change anything. It's things sometimes out of your hands, but it's about trying to just be positive, even though it's really hard. Not easy.
Welcome everyone to another episode of the Unfiltered podcast, where we take the eye out of unfiltered and put the emphasis directly on you. This is the one platform where we get to take down our filters and have raw, authentic and vulnerable conversations in regards to the challenges that we're all facing today. Now, if you're a fan of the unfiltered nature of this podcast and you want more of these conversations that I have on the show to be normalized, why don't you help me help you to get more guests on and to have those difficult conversations in regards to the challenges we're all facing? I have to know what it is that you specifically want us to speak about. So if it isn't too much to ask, why don't you hit that subscribe button right now? And at the end of the episode, if it's been a hit for you, if it's hit home, why don't you leave a thumbs up and leave a cheeky review in regards to what specifically resonates with you. Now, with that all being said and done, let's get straight back into the episode. Travelled long and far to get down here today, haven't we?
Yeah.
Bit of a journey for both of you.
Yeah.
Thank you lot for both coming on the Unfiltered podcast. Let's get into a bit more about like who you both are, well, who you are and who you've brought along with you for this episode today. As in, this is all part of the bloopers that'll be in there as well, so don't worry about it.
Oh, okay. Okay. Hi, I'm Parul Ganatra.
This is take 2 for everyone looking. Satch basically didn't get an introduction, so we're going to do that. We're going to add him into it right now.
Okay. Hi guys, I'm Parul Ganatra, the founder and the face of the brand for the Silk Glow.
Hi, I'm Sachin, the co-founder of the Silk Glow, husband to Parul, father to my two kids.
Let's get into it a bit more. Come on, tell me a bit more about the Silk Glow. You can't just say what it is. We want to know a bit more about what is all of this that we have in front of us today.
So the Silk Glow was launched in November 2022. It goes back way before then. It goes back into obviously going through not knowing what self-care was back in 2016, juggling many hats, being a mum to two small kids, having two loved ones critically ill. Obviously, firstly, my husband going through health conditions and not being able to do a lot. And obviously my dad, based off that, a year later, things started to recover. I was able to realise what self-care really meant and look in the mirror. But at that time, it was too late. And my hair and skin was in such a state to the point where I had dry hair, acne, blemishes, and all the rest of it. And then I started to create my own products, obviously the face oil, which started with the knowledge I had gathered from my dad, mum, and my grandma, passed down to me, and developed something that actually worked. I was in that vicious cycle before then, buying products on the market, spending more money, and in that vicious cycle that does not stop. So that was launched 2022.
So, anything you want to say?
Together.
Yeah. It's been a journey.
Yeah.
Since the business started. Obviously, initially Parul decided on the formulation. We've been going for a couple of years. It's been a roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
Let me hear. We see a lot of the highs.
Yeah.
There's been some of the lows as well. Don't get me wrong. But it's been thoroughly enjoyable.
Yes.
and I don't think we're going to change it.
Good. No, good.
Been 2 years now. In the
Yeah,
making.
there we go. And we've got a lot to unpack, so be calm, be chilled. We're gonna get into it. Just because I want to get a little bit more backstory about you, because I know we've spoken off camera a number of times now, and I'm a big admirer of what you've been able to do in regards to supporting your wife in a entrepreneurial journey in this business that you lot brought together. Out of curiosity, how long you lot been married for?
It will be...
It'll be 20 years next year.
20 years next year.
Jeez. Yeah. Okay. And you've got 2 little ones.
Yeah.
Yes.
How old are they? Jog my memory, just
So
roughly.
Ria's 13 and Sai is 10.
Okay. Cool. And this started 2 years ago. What is the Silk Glow? Just out of curiosity. Like I can see it from an Instagram page, and there's obviously a story behind it, but just for the audience and the listeners right now who aren't aware of it, what is the Silk Glow?
So the Silk Glow is an everyday luxury brand made for basically all skin types, all hair types. It's got, we thoroughly believe in Ayurvedic natural ingredients because it's created from my own personal hair and skin issues. So this is made for all. It's not just for women, it's for men as well. Obviously, my husband uses the products every day as well. So there's a number of other families.
Well, you're glowing, mate. You're glowing. It's all good.
Tell me about it.
So yeah, we obviously it's hair, skin, gift boxes as well, and Mulberry Silk collection. I have also been working on some other products which have been in the making for a few years, which are launching this year, which I can't reveal at the moment, but they will be launching this year too.
So, like, you I know we mentioned the Ayurvedic ingredients or stuff incorporated within the products, right?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Why have you gone down this particular route? Like, we've got like some hair bubbles. Hair bubbles, we call them hair bubbles?
Hair scrunchies.
Hair scrunchies, yeah. See, I'm not in this. See, with my hair, we don't have to worry about that kind of conversation. And then we've got hair oils. We've got, there's this, you mentioned something about pillowcases as well. Like, give me a bit more context in regards to like all of this. It's very interesting. And I know one person who's going to be very interested in this is my sister when she listens in, because she's into like this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So for her in particular and everyone else who's in tune to this, give me a bit more context in regards to what I'm seeing in front of me.
I think we should really firstly go down to the Ayurvedic and why Ayurveda.
Yeah.
I think Parul would be a great because obviously that's her passion.
Yeah.
And that's what initially started off this whole journey.
So the reason why we've gone down the Ayurvedic route, especially for me, is because Ayurvedic means so much more to me. I mean, it's all it's Ayurvedic knowledge and all the ingredients passed down, not just from my grandma, but mum and dad together, which I've grown up with all my life. And all I've ever known is using natural ingredients for my hair and skin. So Ayurveda, obviously, it's, it's a holistic approach to hair and skin, using herbs, oils, and plant extracts, which, in my opinion, are very effective for your hair and skin. So you're getting pure natural ingredients, which are good for you. And
let's get into just a little bit more deeper then. So how does that like coincide with, like, say, the pillowcases, the scrunchies? Obviously, so it's all part of
that with using natural holistic ingredients is the fact that just before, every day, and one of the things that people don't really recognize is that when you are firstly applying a number of products, even before you walk out the door in the morning, when you're applying products into your skin, it's all absorbing into your body.
Yeah.
Longevity, when you're putting a number of different, different products that are not natural, right? That could, it's absorbing, right? So that's why having the holistic approach and the Ayurvedic approach, right? Meaning the fact that you're only using natural ingredients, right? So that's one of the first and foremost things. And then obviously going with what we're talking about with some of the products itself, in terms of we've had that care and attention on them products for that reason, is to make sure the fact that they're all suitable for all skin types, etc. I don't know whether...
Yeah, so it's obviously making sure it's suitable for all skin types because it works for me. It's worked for my family and friends and many other customers as well, and the whole Silk Glow community. With our mulberry silk collection, which is obviously silk, that started off with obviously doing lots of research when I was going through a really stressful period when both my loved ones were critically unwell. That what you sleep on makes a massive difference to your hair and your skin. And after doing so much research and looking into making sure the pillowcase is made of the most highest quality silk, fibres and grade, it makes a big difference. If you have a 10-step routine for your hair and skin every day, you're actually minimising that because you're sleeping in a pillowcase.
That makes sense. No, I get that. You mentioned something there in regards to everything that was going on personally. We're going to get into that story a little bit as well. You tapped into something saying that you recognized and you researched. So I want to find out, there's two questions here. I want to find out, like, how bad was it for you to then start this process up? And secondly, how in the hell have you got yourself in the mindset to be like, I need to figure this stuff out, despite what you probably were going through at that period of time as well?
So I think for me, in answer to the first one, it was...
You go down to the roots, don't you?
Yeah, it just goes down to your own roots because that's all I've ever known all my life. Knowledge being passed down from my grandma, mum and my dad. I mean, if you have a cold, you have turmeric, milk, anything. It's all herbal remedies without having to leave the house. So that's how I started. And I knew I'd create something that would work because how effective and powerful Ayurvedic and natural ingredients really are for your hair and skin compared to anything that's chemical based. With all my research, I took time doing research. I wanted to get something that actually worked for my hair and skin, not go into that vicious cycle, not spend lots of money and have nothing that worked.
Yeah.
So it was making sure that things actually did work and gave me good results.
Fine.
And there's a story behind that as well, in terms of how it all evolved. We didn't suddenly decided we wanted to create a business.
Yeah.
I'm sure Parul can tell you more about her journey and what she went through. But it was all, it all started because of a reason. And initially it wasn't designed to create a business.
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously when going through that stressful period,
Let's talk about that.
skin and hair.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's talk about that stressful period so it adds a little bit more context.
Okay.
So Satch was, I don't want to say the word unwell, but
I was critically ill.
Yeah.
Let's just put it that way. Yeah.
And Dad was going through.
He was struck with heart failure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's just paint that picture right now.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound pretty at all.
No.
Critically ill.
Yeah.
Dad's heart failure.
Yeah.
2 little ones running around. And on the back end of that, your self-care has gone down the drain.
Yeah. And I'm working full time.
That's pretty deep, right? And I feel like, again, and I've told you a lot of this. That's not, we don't see that on the front page, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot more heart and warmth that have gone into creating this. And initially, it was to get yourself, obviously, would you said your skin was going downhill, and you've done your research to create something which is going to benefit yourself. But where it comes from is a lot more deeper than that, and I feel like you don't give yourself enough credit for talking about that. Not saying that what you've gone through is in my words, it's fucked, right?
Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Do you want to?
Yeah. So it was back in 2016. So Satch was obviously going through a lot with his health. He didn't have the energy. He was very fragile and weak. So there was many times where I had to even help feed him, to be honest, because he didn't have the energy. And making special foods out of a recipe book because I wasn't able to eat the same foods as us. So that happened probably most of the year, to be honest. But I remember the exact date. It was like the 23rd of December, 2016, when we rushed him into hospital. It was quite frightening, leaving 2 kids and just not knowing what's going to happen. I remember being in a room with a consultant and a doctor arguing with them.
Just point blank argument.
And they're like saying to me, to be honest, we don't know what we can do to save him because his immune system is really weak. And there's me trying to argue with them. The only option left was surgery. And that surgery they planned to do on Christmas Day. So the next day, which was Christmas Eve, the 24th, they helped, obviously, gave him more strength to build his immune system, to prepare his body for the surgery. And the surgery was on Christmas Day, which was probably one of the most frightening, scariest days at that point I've ever been through of my life.
What was the success rate in regards to this surgery? That just for context,
It was okay.
Fine.
But it was because my organs started to fail.
Yeah.
Other organs, and I was clearly showing signs. Hence the reason I got there.
Yeah.
It was, unfortunately, it was quite a big surgery, and I needed. And at that particular point in time, to be honest, I was totally oblivious.
Yeah.
I was just sleeping most of the time, and I know what Parul was going through at the time.
Yeah. I mean, it was a lengthy 7-hour surgery on Christmas Day. So
Yeah.
obviously kids left for 7 hours. It did obviously go successful, and he was on the road to recovery, which was really good. But I think from this, the things that I've really learnt is whatever life throws at you, something like this, when you least expect it, it's so important to have that strong mindset to push through what's going on and to see that light at the end of the tunnel, because you can't change anything. It's things sometimes out of your hands, but it's about trying to just be positive, even though it's really hard. It's not easy, because it was scary, it was frightening, it was...
But this is what people are going through right now, right? Throughout any walks of life. I don't want to say like you're a machine or you're a beast, but you are that person. I don't know how you managed to get through this. Me, probably be shit scared. That's just me putting my hands up right now. Like, generally don't know what the fuck to do. And I suppose you go into that flight or fight mode, and you've been out here fighting, right? And this is Satch. There's a story behind in regards to what's going on with Dad as well.
Yeah.
And in all of this, you've still got 2 little mouths to feed, and you've battled through.
Yeah.
Here today with this product, like, testament to you for pushing through. Talk to me specifically in how you, like, what went on through here. Because it's easy saying it, right? This is the most, like, this is what people will say, it's bullshit. Like, what are you talking about? Like, how did you get through it? Tell me what it is, because I'm suffering right now.
Yeah.
What works for me may never work for you, and what worked for you may never work for me. But what would be interesting to know is, what is it specifically that you could possibly remember? Was it things that were said? Was it something you learned? Was it something that you just, was it part of your routine? Was it something affirmations, whatever? What was it specifically that kept you going through to be where you are right now?
I think for me, it was my dad, because everything he's taught me in life is a person I've become today. So during that, ever since I've been small, it's always been having a strong mindset, teaching me how to have the strong mindset, having strong willpower to get you through absolutely anything. I mean, there were days where, in my younger days, I'd say, Dad, I don't know if I can do this. And the first thing he would say is, there's no such thing as can't. You can do it, and you will do it. So that's embedded into my head always. Things like he would say, mottos I still remember, nothing is impossible. Do what you can today, don't wait for tomorrow. And even though obviously I lost him in May 2023, I still remember everything he's taught me about mindset and willpower. And I think it really helped me to get through that stressful period, because and being strong, because you can't be weak. You've got to push through and be strong for the kids and for yourself and for the family.
And ever since, obviously, I was going through a period of my life where, to be honest, I didn't know whether I was coming or going. I'll be totally honest with you. But I think Parul kept everything together. Not once did I see her shed a tear, or not in front of me or the kids anyway. It was all about, no, we're going to get through this. It's all about the mindset. We're going to have a roller coaster ride in our life, right? And as a family, as a unit, we'll stick by each other and we'll get through it. And I think that was, that was a credit to her, absolutely. And we did. Look, we're sitting here today. I'm one of these people that I always believe there's always light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
Fortunately, in this instance, there was. And I think it's just, I think being supportive with each other. We're all going to go through lives where, the other one needs a hand more than the other. And I think we did it, didn't we? In terms of,
Yeah.
And we're proud of what we've achieved since then, because I always believe in, when something knocks you right down, there's only one way up, and that's the right way.
I think there's other things that come with it as well. Like, I used to do like daily prayers, and I still do, affirmations, which I've learned from my dad, and just seeing the positive. I know it's not easy to see the positive in things when things like that throw at you in life, but it's about pushing through and being strong-headed.
See, like this is a mindset I felt like I had, and one thing I learned through like my coaching journey was I was possibly doing it from a negative place. So I think I've spoken about it on the pod before, but like my granddad kept his mouth shut about stuff, and he just knuckled through, and like we highlighted him as meant to be this great person, like never complain, heart of gold, lovely man. I realized after the problem with that mentality was that I then kept my mouth shut about things that I was going through. So I was still power through, but I wouldn't ask for help. I still try and find a way, but I wouldn't reach potential that I had, right? It's predicted grades, never got there. Not his fault, but what I had learned in that process was quite like, shh, you got this, and you've got the ability, you will find a way. And that's good. But I think at the same time, if it's twisted with some form of negativity, it can really take you to like a toxic place where later down in life, you don't even know how to ask for help when something serious kicks off. Yeah. And what you've gone through, I can appreciate. Like, Dad has been like a pillar, a foundation in regards to who you are today, and testament to him. But there are people right now who probably have had similar experiences with parents or grandparents, but it still doesn't hit home. Something else is in their head right now. Something else is in their way, which stops them from going that much further and not giving up. If we look at, let's say, men's suicide rates, like people are still pushing themselves over that ledge because they can't take it anymore.
Yeah.
I don't, and I feel there's more within your particular story. Like, and I don't want anyone to turn around and say, that's easy, you saying that because your dad was such a nice guy. There's something more, and there was something that you had to take within that and believe within yourself. Is anything coming up specifically?
So I think it's having that strong self-belief.
Yeah.
And not having limiting beliefs, because it's so easy to have this little inner voice in your head telling you that's going to happen, that's going to happen, don't do this. But you don't want to allow that. So for me, what I've always been taught by my dad and what I've learned is have a fence around that.
Yeah.
So nothing negative enters because you've got this block. And the only things that are in your head are positive things
so
that help.
Let me throw it back at your way then. Your two little ones.
Yeah.
What if something comes up from them and they've heard someone from school or someone's made them feel like shit or whatever?
Yeah.
What's the lesson you're teaching them?
So everything I've learned is now getting passed down to the kids. And same with Sach, and he does exactly the same.
I think one thing that we've been very open and front with our kids. You got to love yourself before you can love others.
Yep.
You got to be confident in yourself, and you got to then you can be confident around others, or even show it. And one of the biggest things, I think, that's it. I'll be honest with you, it's on my vision board this year, and I call it vitamin N. And that is learn to say no. Right? And that's something that I'm trying to install. And we constantly say there are times where, people, you just have to follow the journey. If you're not happy with it, stop people pleasing,
Yeah.
right? And literally say no if it doesn't please you, right? Because like I said, it goes straight back to that journey. You've got to love yourself first.
Yeah.
You've got to understand. You've got to work on yourself, right? And if you can't look after yourself, if you can't look after your mindset, if you can't, then forget the world,
Yeah.
right? Even I say to me and Parul, as you probably appreciate, I'm here today to be supportive of Parul, to be supportive of our business, etc. However, even though I love my wife dearly, I've got to love myself first. And if I can't do that, if I can't be confident, then I can't impact anything around me.
Do you think that helps the relationship between the two of you? 20 years for sure.
Yeah.
But just to deep a little bit more, because I think you've hit onto something which some people just generally don't gravitate towards, and they're in toxic relationships and they're just suffering in silence, right? Slightly going off tangent, but generally, like, do you feel from what you lot have gone through and you being on your journey and you being on your journey, being able to say no, having that open and that honest relationship, that communication within you, does that truly benefit you, or are there problems that still come up and you have to navigate your way through it?
There's never a perfect marriage, is there?
Yes, yeah. But we're
And
good
if I was sitting here today,
yeah.
I'll be lying.
Okay, fine.
But we are good at communicating
Fine.
because obviously we work together on the business. Obviously, we're both parents to our kids. We obviously see each other a lot. So we generally do communicate quite well. And if there's things I want to say no to, we'll both agree. And as long as we both agree to say no to, we're like, okay. But if one of us agrees to go say yes and no, we'll just work out
What the best plan
what
is.
the best solution is.
I think Parul hit the nail on the head. It's that communication.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I'm totally against, right, is if something's bothering me, I'm not going to be like a kettle
Yeah.
where I'll wait for it to boil and then I'll explode,
Yeah.
right?
I hear that. Because I feel that's what a lot of people do right now, especially within our community as well.
Yes.
Like I don't even say our community, generally, a lot of relationships.
But you're right,
Yeah.
And it's not difficult to say no.
No.
It's a very easy thing to do.
It is.
But doing it, like you said right now, you got to have that self-love, self-worth within you to be able to say it and not feel guilty.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you might upset a few people. Tough.
Yeah.
If you're not...
And you can upset yourself more.
Yeah.
And then it goes back to that same thing where, you know what, you got to love yourself.
Yeah.
Right. Not saying, look, we all have, especially in our South Asian community, we have big families. I mean, even we do, But, at the end of the day, you're open, you're transparent. And then if somebody's not happy, that's their issue. It's not your issue.
I hear it.
And I think that's what a lot of people realize, that, they're acting a certain way.
Yeah.
You have to sometimes take a step back and say, well, hold on. If they're going to act a certain way, again, can I actually control that?
It's out of your control, isn't it? It's like
You can only do so much, right?
you can't. I think if you drag yourself down that lane,
Yeah.
it can really affect your mindset and the way you are as a person. And when you are living a busy life with a family, 2 kids, and running a business, you don't have the time for that at all.
Yeah. I try and tell people, like, you can't play a hero all the time.
No.
And if anything, you should be your own hero in this journey as well, right? Some people right now, and I use the analogy where it's like, if you're in like some sort of like relationship where someone always seems like dependent on you, maybe you're in a lake right now, you're on the boat, they're in the water, but they're standing. It's shallow. They're not actually struggling right now. They just need their moment to let it all out. You don't need to jump in and bring them on board.
Yeah.
No.
Maybe they are in the deep end, but they've got a life jacket on and they're fine. You don't need to jump in and try and save everyone all the time. But if you're brought up in a mentality where, I suppose culture and tradition throws it at us.
Yeah. I think especially with the South Asian
Yeah.
community, it's more like that.
Yeah.
I feel, and maybe so many other people agree as well. You always feel like you have to
Yeah.
say yes to everything.
Yeah.
And sometimes
But then you're people pleasing.
Got to take
Exactly,
a
of
step back.
course. I listen. I've done enough on people pleasing, and I try and get people out of it. And it's something conditioned within us because you're a bad person if you don't put other people first. Respectfully, I might be a bad person to you, but I'm a worse person for myself if I don't put me first right now. Tell every client I can't coach you if I'm not in the right headspace for it.
Yeah.
There's a balance as well. Don't
Yeah.
get me wrong.
Yeah.
Like with
Yeah.
parents, family, there
Yeah.
is always a balance. But I think you've got to have that process and structure within yourself.
Of course. Let's get back to this, and I want to talk about you and your story. I might have skipped past it. So I wrote down when we spoke before, like the stressful period. You're working full time, managing two small kids. You neglected yourself very badly, and we go into like your hair and your skin. What is it you neglected, and what is it that exactly happened? For anyone who doesn't know you right now, just to know the severity of what it is that you personally
Yeah.
was seeing when you looked in the mirror.
I neglected my hair and skin. I didn't even have the chance to look in the mirror,
Okay.
and it was such a stressful period. So when things did improve a year later, and when I actually started looking in the mirror, I realised I can't believe I look like this. I can't believe I've been looking like this every single day. My hair was dry, damaged. It just was not growing past a certain length. My skin, I'm full of acne, blemishes, uneven skin tone, because I didn't know what self-care meant. I needed to then come back to myself and figure out how I'm going to solve these issues, because I did not want to be looking like that anymore.
No, you're glowing right now, that's for sure. So the stuff definitely, and you're glowing as well. Like, listen, expect a couple of orders later. Just saying.
Yeah, I know.
No, but respectfully, like you said, so it was over the period of a year. Your hair was dry, acne, blemishes. For someone who's listening to this right now, who is going through that, and they're doing they are actually applying a skincare routine. They've got like the best products on the market available, etc. How do you still encourage them to trust the process? Because as an example, when I was young, and like when you go through puberty, like my acne was bad. I used to say I had like the Rocky Mountain on my forehead, just marks and everything, just looked terrible. And then like got given like some, I think whether it was steroid cream or some sort of cream from the GP, and like over time it disappears, and it's just life. And I realized when I look at myself right now, like I've got blackheads and marks. I don't care too much about it, but I can understand someone who's probably in a worse condition, like from a facial perspective right now, is getting the L'Oreal products, I can't even pronounce some of these other companies and these brands, and they're expensive and all of that stuff, and they're following a routine.
Yeah.
But nothing still seems to be working, or they're stuck. How do you encourage them to take the next step forward or trust that process? Because it could be quite demoralizing, especially if you're young, if you're single, or if you've got this family pressure right now to get married, get into a relationship, all of that stuff. It's probably like quite traumatizing as well.
Yeah.
Stripping it right back.
Yeah,
right?
I
It's
think.
everything.
Yeah, I think sometimes you need to just have a look if you really need all of those products that you've got in front of you. Do you need to use every single one of them products every single day? Because you probably don't need that many products.
Yeah.
Stripping it right back, going to basics. What is it that you want to solve? Is it your acne, blemishes? Because sometimes you can get carried away with buying something that's for acne, but then you also you end up buying products for X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, may not need it, for example. But I think it's stripping it right back and looking at the ingredients that you are putting on your skin, on your hair, because there's so many chemically based products out there that do more damage than good. All the chemicals are getting absorbed.
Yeah.
But that's that. But again, another thing that I'm very much thinking is that the biggest thing is, we all know, look, we've got products, they'll use them, etc. Some people have success rates, some people don't on a number of products, don't get me wrong. But I think it's what's controlling within you as well.
True.
Right? There are a number of contributing factors.
Yeah.
Which could cause, like, so your diet, your sleep, your stress, you know, whether you exercise or not. I think
Yeah.
a number.
Or there might be health conditions, like you might need to just do some blood tests to work out your deficiencies, to work out what, if there is anything wrong.
Yeah.
You might be lacking in nutrients, vitamins, and then once you've got things leveled up, you can then, you'll obviously see a difference in
Yeah.
skin and hair.
I'm just thinking of like, say, people I have known, and there's even like some Instagram accounts I've come across where they actively showcase it, and like I respect like the fact that it's a journey and they're still going through it. I think I've even seen some influencers who like tried some products, it went wrong, and they've now developed something new, and they've gone through their own Ayurvedic or holistic way of regrowing. I think it was hair or something. I can't remember the girl's name. I remember I saw it on TikTok. But I find it like the biggest problem we have within our generation is patience and trust in that process. And I feel like that really limits someone. And obviously your testament in regards to how bad it was for you to be where you are right now, and whether you're using all the products or not. Like I said, you lot are glowing, right? So there is how do you encourage someone? Let's say, for instance, someone's got your products right now, hypothetically, and they've got acne or bad hair or whatever. What's the words of encouragement you're throwing them? A bit like maybe how Dad would have possibly thrown it to you, except in regards to, this is how I'm looking right now. I hate the way I look.
Yeah.
But they're going to use your products right now. What are you saying to them exactly?
I would say I would talk them through exactly all the products. Obviously, firstly, the pillowcase is a game changer for your hair and skin, because you are getting benefits for your hair and your skin whilst you sleep. And that is a massive game changer.
The absorption rate, isn't it?
Yeah.
Terms of,
So you're not absorbing bacteria into your skin like you do when you sleep on a cotton pillowcase.
Yeah.
It's absorbing, bacteria into your skin. It's not good for you either.
Because it stays on your skin, right?
Yeah.
Right. You sleep on a cotton, people don't realise, but the fact that all the products that you put in potentially could go on your knee, your sweat, etc., and then that's all going straight back into.
Is that the same for like bed sheets as well then, and duvet covers? Keep it all silk? Or
Pillowcase matters more
fine.
Yeah.
because obviously that's all going on your hair and skin, right?
Fine.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And with obviously our other products like the face oil,
Yeah.
if you're going to start your journey using a face oil, then consistency is the key.
Yeah.
So morning and evening, every single day. You can wear it on its own. You can wear it underneath makeup as a makeup base. You can apply your SPF on top of it. But consistency is the key. It's got all natural Ayurvedic ingredients in there, and same with the hair oil. The hair oil is again for all hair types. Best to use once or twice in the week, and it's again made of natural Ayurvedic ingredients, which I developed with my dad.
Yeah.
And that was launched in memory of him.
Nice.
He passed away, yeah.
Because I had Annika come around and she gave me a sample of one to use, and I can't lie. I think since I used it, my barber's even said, your hair looks thick on me. Whatever you've done, great. And mentioned something about like massaging and stuff like that, like really getting the follow, something like that.
Yeah.
And like me before, I'd just get like a bit of Vartica oil, put it in my hand, little rub, happy days. And now, like, yeah, I realized giving a little bit more time and effort makes like a big difference.
It does, yeah.
And that is the key, right? It's like you've got to like give it a real go for someone to possibly see results, and everyone's different, but roughly in regards to like what you lot have got here right now, what's a reasonable, realistic, average time frame for someone to then turn around and say to you lot, yeah, this is the shit, I need to get more of this stuff right now?
I'd say for the hair oil, you do need to be patient and give it time. So I'd say about 2-3 months to see growth, baby hairs, and seeing improvement in your hair. Obviously, that will help with your hair loss, and every individual is different. But as long as you're consistent, and obviously with the face oil, it's I'd say at least a couple of weeks, at least about 3 to 4 weeks, at least.
Before you start having
good results. Yeah,
I think the good thing about and we're fascinated is, I think, of what makes it really worthwhile is seeing the constant feedback from the return customers.
Yeah.
I think we've been noticing our journey over the last few months. The return customer rate has been at an all-time high every year. Every month, sorry. It goes up, which is a testament to the product itself, isn't it?
Yeah. So our return rate is always climbing up every month. And that's a really good thing because we love having returning customers come to us.
It makes all the late nights, the hard work that Parul's obviously put onto the formulation with the cosmetic sciences, all worth it.
I know you're still in full-time employment.
Yeah.
Are you still in full-time employment?
Yeah.
Okay. When's the transition going to go into just making this number one? Just out of curiosity. Because I see the passion, right?
Yeah.
And it just gets me thinking, like, I don't know any of the background stories, so I'm not gonna go into say if kids private tuition, whatever's going on behind there. Everyone has their own financial background story. But I'm seeing something here and what you lot have been able to do, and it just gets me thinking, because I've now gone into my space now doing it full time. My commitments are different to yours, but I can see the way I turn up is stupidly different to how I was, and I've been doing coaching for the last 4 years, and it just gets me thinking, because I can see it now. Where could this really go if you gave it 110%? I'm not saying that you're not doing it now, but I think there's more you could possibly put into this, whether it's even the small little bits and bobs that could just be done behind the scenes.
Yeah. I think if I was to do that all day, I could take it a lot more further than what it is at the moment. I could spend more time and research onto more products, which I really want to have in the future, in the pipeline. Allow us to concentrate on new things, being able to, expand, looking at ways of expanding. There's a number of different things, but it would definitely.
And we talk about it all the time.
We do talk about it,
and the transition, I'm sure, will happen.
So I'm not disputing that it won't happen.
It's about it's about when, not if.
Yeah.
Because obviously.
Yeah.
Put a timestamp on it. Not now, but after when you leave, put a timestamp on of not when you're gonna go fully into it, but that much closer to it, because I feel you're possibly holding yourself back from where this could really go. And maybe there's an element of fear with it, because I remember before I moved into coaching full time, I said to my coach, I was like, I'd hate to not be able to do the thing that I love, quit work and do this, and then it just doesn't work and I fail. And he's like, you're never going to know what that really looks like. You're never going to get the chance to wake up and be like, yo, I need to work hard and get some more clients in today. You're never going to get that chance to record that video.
Yeah.
If I look at this right now, I'm thinking there's possible, you talked about say you've got to be consistent with it. One thing I've been doing to keep consistent with my day-to-day is having a journal. Is there a Silk Glow journal possible idea? I don't know. Can we incorporate some tech into it? And I'm just thinking of loads of different things right now. You've got testimonies. You've got people coming back. Where is that visually? Why is that not being flooded? Is that because you don't have the time to possibly absorb it and put it out there? Because you lot have a product which works so amazingly.
Yeah.
Why is it not the first thing I think of? Can it be the first thing I think of? And it just gets me thinking because from this whole conversation, I've just obtained so much passion from it. It's not meant to be a coaching call or anything like that at all. It's just, I get quite excited when I see people really hustling and grinding. And then it just gets me thinking, when is that next step actually going to come into play?
Yeah. I mean, we have talked about it and we've got set actions, goals with the actions.
Yeah.
What we need to do. At the moment, it's just making sure all our processes are in place.
Yeah. The base is correct.
Done. So that transition, when that does happen, it's a smooth transition. So you don't have any gaps. You've got everything covered.
Yeah.
Whether it's your socials, whether it's your marketing.
There are certain goals that we want to achieve. And I think we both do this on a here. When we hit a milestone.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's already planned, it's in our vision, it's in our then we celebrate.
Yeah. I just want to hit you back with one thing though. You said when you've got things quite planned and in place, then you could possibly take that step, right?
Yeah.
You didn't plan for this to begin with.
I didn't.
And look where you are right now.
Yeah.
So just let that just maybe be a little penny drop moment, trying to possibly ensure things, the logistics are in place, etc., etc.
Yeah.
might be the thing that's holding you back, because to be where you are right now, you went on a whim.
Yeah.
You looked at yourself and said, nah, this can't happen anymore. I'm going back to my roots.
Yeah.
I'm going to create something.
Yeah.
For me personally, and now for everyone else,
Yeah.
and now for a wider audience, you've got a method to the way you've been able to bring this out here. So yeah, I'm going to end on one last question. And I said, like, I didn't ask you it prior to this, but I did want to save it for here. But it's kind of two questions. Do you believe in a higher being, the pair of you?
I do.
Yeah? Yourself? Yeah. Okay, fair. I know you said dad passed.
Yeah.
What do you think he's saying to you right now as he looks at you and what you've been able to do, just out of curiosity?
To be honest, I know he's always here. And he's not here in person, but he's here in spirit.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say that is because I speak to him every single day without fail. He's on my wallpaper on my mobile. I talk to him every single day to his photo. Anything I'm going through, I talk to him about. Anything I want him to give me guidance on and help me give some little bit more clarity, I talk to him about as well. And I find it massively helps me. It's like the day of going to the awards, the She Awards. I was a finalist for Businesswoman of the Year. I was really sad he wasn't there with me. So I took his photo with me and I spoke to him and I said, today's a really big day. I am a finalist for the Businesswoman of the Year award. If you can give me your blessings, I know you're always here for me, and I'm upset you're not here in person, but I know you're here in spirit. And if I don't win, do you know what, Dad? I'll still be grateful. I'm grateful that I've come this far in the process. And on that evening, when my name got called out, that I'd won the Businesswoman of the Year, I was absolutely shocked.
Tears of joy.
And I know he's listening. And there's many times where he'd come into my dreams. He comes into my dreams 3-4 times a week, every week. Anything I'm going through, he'll come in and tell me something or guide me. So I know he's still always there.
Yeah, and the same with the hair oil, really, because obviously that just recently won Hair Growth Product of the Year and whatever, best hair oil, whatever. But because he created that product.
Yeah.
With Parul. And he was the one who was so passionate. I mean, when we launched with the face oil, he actually goes, no, we need a hair oil. And that was his words to Parul.
Yeah.
Hence why that was the second product.
Yeah.
Right? Which the amount of work and effort that's gone in. But when that won, straight away, immediately we felt, you know what? This one's for you, Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's special.
Only reason why I'm asking that particularly is because there are some people who lost parents or they feel incomplete.
Yeah.
And like, I just wanted to ask you that because it's a simple thing I try and tell some of my clients right now. What would they say? And it's in that moment they feel a bit of warmth or a bit of excitement, and they know that this person that they've been trying to do this for is proud.
Yeah.
And when you can actually say that to yourself or feel it in some way, it pushes you that little bit further.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you're doing that. I'm quite touched with that answer myself personally. So,
well, don't get me wrong. It's grief is always there.
Of course.
And it's like you've got this broken heart for the rest of your life. But it also makes you see life so differently, in a complete different way. So you do, I do get times where I'm emotionally down. Like January this month.
It's a tough month.
My birthday next week, and then 2 weeks after that, Dad's birthday. So there are times where I am emotionally down, but you've got to just go through the process.
Yeah. But again, like it's understanding your emotions and sitting with them.
Yeah.
But I think also at the same time within that, it's recognizing the fact that like what you're able to do right now with this conversation, the same thing can also be applicable then as well when it's your birthday.
Yeah. Yeah.
When it's his birthday, And it's like using what you've done when you're at that award ceremony, and it's using that. And I feel like sometimes that can get a little bit lost as well when we're grieving and stuff. But
it's also about, and I'm again, me and Parul have this conversation maybe at least once or twice a day. Sometimes it's just about, well, hold on, we can always look at the sad part. Yeah, he's not here. This, that, and other. But let's look at the happy part. Let's celebrate it. You know, in terms of, because I know, for example, one day when I do go, I would want my kids, right? And, I would want them, to be doing exactly what I want, right? Be happy, be enjoying themselves. Don't grieve. I know it's easier said than done.
Of course.
Absolutely agree with it. But if you, again, switch it a little bit, I think it makes a big difference.
Yeah, it's a big mindset shift. I try and encourage it because, like, you might not ever, as sad as it sounds, that voice is never going to be there, but in here it will never leave. Yeah, in here it will never leave. What you do with that is entirely up to you.
Yeah.
And so if you need that words of encouragement, because I know there's parents right now who don't encourage their kids, but deep down they're stupidly proud. They just don't know how to say it or communicate it. And you're in this situation right now where you're grinding, or you feel like things aren't going to plan, you're stuck in this, and it's like, what would they say? If they really could hear you right now, what would they say? And if you can coach yourself in that situation,
Yes.
you can push yourself in a different direction.
Yeah.
You could be going down this wall and all of a sudden just change direction, and life just gets a little bit more easier for you.
Yeah.
But big thank you both coming on. I was gonna say, look how much you've bloody spoken today. We've had a great chat, mate. So I'm gonna stay behind the screen. I don't want to get involved.
Initially, that wasn't the plan, but I'm glad both of you two have pushed me to come here, because, like I said, it's about supporting, especially in our culture.
Yeah.
Not a lot of
You don't see it often.
Husbands and I've seen it first-hand experience. Don't get me wrong, support their other halves, and to be honest, I'm super proud of what my wife has achieved.
I normally see it the other way around, where the wife supports the husband's dreams and passions, and I'm like I said, it's a beautiful image to see, and I encourage more people to just support one another.
We're a team.
That's it. It's the best. That's all we're asking for. Teamwork out here.
I mean, he's been amazing. He's always like supportive, like hands-on, whether it's helping with the kids and especially with the business as well. It's like making sure the back end, everything's working as it should be, whilst I focus on
doing that. Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. No, I look forward to seeing what happens next, and get ready for a couple of extra orders might be coming through for sure. But big thank you lot coming through today.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us as well.
Thank you lot for listening to another episode of the Unfiltered podcast. If you've liked what you listened today, drop us a like. If you've got any comments in regards to what we spoke about, if there's something you disagreed with, or there's stuff that you did agree with, drop us a comment. And lastly, if you haven't subscribed yet, give us a subscribe. Every subscribe goes a long way. And look, why wouldn't you subscribe? If you like the unfiltered nature of the podcast, surely you want to be in tune to whenever the next episode is coming out, right? Anywho, I'll catch you on the next episode of the Unfiltered podcast. It's been your boy Pri, and I'm signing out. Peace.